I'll start. What's it like being on this stage? You obviously, been around playoff when you were at Georgia and were at the Sugar Bowl last year. What's it like being with this opportunity here?
Obviously, it's always cool. It was always a super dope opportunity to make it this far and be in this position. But honestly, I was having this conversation the other day with my family, and it's like my whole, college football career, even obviously when I wasn't playing at Georgia, we were always, in these types of games. So it kind of it's normal to an extent, and I know that's a little weird to say that it's normal to always be on the stage, but, I've been in these games and moments, even, not playing, being on the sideline, but being around teams that have been here. And then obviously it feels a little bit better to be the quarterback, to lead a team to this position, and just super blessed to have this opportunity.
What did you get from those experiences, at Georgia in these games, even if you weren't starting?
I think the biggest thing is just understanding what it takes to win games like this, to get to this position, right? The preparation, the work, the week of what it looks like, right? How to handle this environment, how to handle these type of weeks. And obviously it's a little bit different now with, having the 12-team playoff, having more rounds of the playoff. So, but again, just handling the week, handling the preparation, I think is something that I learned, being on those teams and being a part of the preparation of those teams.
So how do you handle the week?
Yeah, obviously you have this. We don't normally have this during a normal week. You come to the stadium, you come to the bowl site, all these different things. But again, you just have to treat it like another normal week of preparation. And honestly, I like it a lot more sometimes because, you're in the hotel. There's you're around your whole entire team all the time. You can watch more film around your guys, right? It's not like you're staying late at the facility, you're getting back late. Everything's in one centralized location. So I think if you keep all the outside stuff and outside noise just kind of where it is and notice it for what it is and just hone in and focus on the things that need to be focused on, it makes the preparation a lot easier.
Carson, is this the most complete defense that you've played this season?
They're very talented, obviously. You look at their front seven, you look at the DBs, and then obviously the scheme that they run with, Coach Patricia and what they do on defense. They're very talented, and they make you earn each yard. So, again, I think we have a good plan. But again, we know the challenge that they're going to pose for us, but we're excited for the opportunity.
Do you find this particularly challenging for you because you enjoy the game so much? You enjoy the X's and O's. Are you enjoying this preparation and getting ready for Patricia's defense to try to figure out how to decode it?
Absolutely. And, you play against talented defensive coordinators, right? I say talented, but guys that are just talented in their mind and like what they do is scheme and how they prepare for different offenses. And at the end of the day, it's a chess game, right? The offense versus defensive battle, right? Where we do this, they do that, they do this, we do that, right? And, checks and balances and just seeing things happen before they happen. So I always love games like this where that you're going up against a really, really good team and a really good coach and a really well-coached team as well. They're very disciplined. They're not out of place very often. And then you pair that with talent, and obviously it's why they're one of the best defenses in the country, if not the best. So, again, it's like a chess game, and, we just got to make the right moves with the right pieces and execute at the end of the day.
Can you talk about a little bit about how you and Shannon Dawson have come up with the right answers for your offense throughout the season, and how important that is going into this game?
Yeah, of course. Always me and him being on the same page is a huge deterrent for success on our offense, right? So, again, my trust in him and his trust in me is, been really, really good recently. And as you know, we've continued to build throughout the season. So heading in this game, I think we're confident about our plan. I think we've put together a good plan. We've put together a lot of good plans throughout this season. And then ultimately, like I always say, it just comes down to us going out there on Wednesday and executing, and it'll be more about us.
What would you anticipate Ohio State doing to Malachi Tony?
I think that they have talent all over the field, obviously, but I don't know how they'll play it, to be completely honest. Obviously, we can guess and look forward to maybe how they're going to do certain things, but we won't know until we go out there on Wednesday and play.
Also, a lot of discussion about their run defense, their front seven. your offensive line pretty good. How much do you have to lean on them throughout?
Well, I've said this the whole entire season that our trenches on offense and defense have, led this team. We go as they go, and any good football team, that's how it's going to be, right? And we understand the talent that, they bring in their trenches as well. So, again, we're looking forward to the opportunity to go compete, and I know those guys are ready to compete as well.
What do you take out of the A&M game, you personally? Anything in particular?
Yeah, I think just what we've shown, even just the past really month of the regular season, is how we're able to, handle adversity. Even when things might have not been going our way the whole entire game, our defense steps up, makes a play, then we make a huge play on special teams, and then when we need it most at the end, it's smash mouth football, and Mark Fletcher, bangs off a 50-yard run, and there it is. Then Malachi Toney gets a jet sweep, gets it into the end zone to ultimately win the game, and then Bryce gets a pick to seal it. So all three phases of the game working together to ultimately pull out a win in what a lot of people say is one of the hardest places to play, in the country, and in a playoff game, I think even elevates that more. So again, when all three phases of the game are working to ultimately win football games, I think that's a really good place for our team.
Carson, how would you gauge your success from Georgia to Miami? How would you put that all together?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing, especially, gust of wind coming through, but I think for me, success is about winning, right? At the end of the day, as a quarterback, the ultimate goal is to win football games, and to be in this position, right, in the playoffs, winning our first playoff game, getting to this opportunity to be in the quarterfinals, I feel like I would say up to this point it's been a successful season.
Kind of a challenge, do you think it will be going up against this defense? Are they maybe a little different than what we've seen coming into this?
Of course, each defense obviously is different in its own ways, right? There's only, so many fronts, so many coverages, so many pressures. Now, there's a ton that defenses can do, but obviously you have such a talented defensive group, right, from the front seven to the DBs, and then you pair that with a really, really good coach, right? They're very well coached, very disciplined in their structure and what they do. So, again, I'm sure they'll have a few wrinkles for us in what they do, but it does, give us a challenge. But with the challenge comes opportunity, and we're excited for that opportunity.
Do you feel like you need to have a really good game in order to be successful?
I feel like I just need to execute each and every play as it goes. I don't think I need to do any more, any less than just be me and go do what I need to do. And again, at the end of the day, it's not just me out there. So, when people say that to me, it's like, man, I got 10 other guys out there that are hell of football players, right? And again, I can lean on them, they can lean on me, and we all just trust each other and go out there and execute each and every play.
That wind's killing you, man.
I know.
What do you think about coming into this game as an underdog?
Once you get to the playoffs, I think that numbers and seeds and things of that sort don't matter, right? Nobody would be here if they didn't have the talent to be here. And again, I've said this all season, I believe that we can compete with anybody. So, and we've proved that throughout this season and what we've been able to do. So, again, once you get to this point, everybody's good, everybody can execute, everybody can go make plays, and I believe we deserve to be here.
13 months ago, if I told you would have been at Miami, you probably would have not believed me. But what's this whole process been like? What's Miami been like for you?
Yeah, it's been a crazy turnaround, really, from 13 months ago to now. Obviously, 13 months ago, I was at Georgia, and my mind was in a totally different spot of what my future and what I wanted my future to look like. And a lot of the times you don't have control over, what your future or what your story is going to hold and what it looks like. So, again, for me, I think the whole journey just kind of taught me to take things one day at a time, to show gratitude for the position that you're in, to show gratitude for the opportunities that are given. I'm super thankful for what the University of Miami has given me, what Coach Cristobal, what Coach Dawson have done, and developed me as a football player and as a man, what these teammates have done to continuously have my back, to be there with me as we grind and work through the season. Because again, it hasn't been an easy season. We faced adversity, and me personally, I faced a lot of adversity this year and in the past 12 months, since obviously the injury, the surgery, the way the season ended, to turning around and obviously coming to Miami. And having this run and making it to the playoffs. It's been honestly amazing, and I'm super thankful to have this opportunity to play for the U.
And what has Miami given you as a person and as a player?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of lessons to be learned through the season and just through experiences in general. For me, I've grown, obviously, as a football player, and just the countless reps that I've gotten to play against such good defense every single day in practice, right? To continuously get better, and then have the opportunity to play in big games like we did, a week and a half ago against A&M, and then now have this opportunity to go play against Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. And then obviously just as a man as well, being around Coach Dawson, his calm, cool demeanor, the way he carries himself, I think that's really helped me as a quarterback on the field. And then obviously just as a man off the field as you go through your everyday life. So it's been awesome to, be around this team, these coaches, these guys. And again, I look forward to the future and what we're able to accomplish.
What stands out to you the most about Ohio State's team?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah, sure. What stands out to you the most about Ohio State's team?
I think just how disciplined they are. They're rarely out of place, if ever. And then obviously you can't they're obviously super talented. So again, when you compare talent with discipline, it creates really, really good defensive football, right? When everybody's in the right spot and is making plays and not being selfish. They're a very unselfish defense, and you can just tell that by the way that they play. So again, I mean, you got to give them their props and what they do, but we're ready for the opportunity, and we'll go out and execute and do what we need to do.
I feel like people talk a lot about when there's an offense going up against Matt Patricia's defense. It's like it carries some weight with his name behind it. Do you have any reaction when you're like, I'm preparing to face a defense who is coached by this guy?
I think it's a great opportunity. I think it's a great opportunity for not only our offense, but for me as well. Each defensive coordinator, has their own wrinkle and like how they like to call defenses, the different pressures, the different looks, how they like to mess with the quarterback's mind and his eyes and all these sorts of things. So, just watching film and watching what they do a lot of different things in disguise, a lot of different coverages and pressures and blitzes and different fronts. So, again, I'm sure they're going to throw everything at us, but it's an opportunity for us to, go out and execute and do what we need to do. So I thought we've been really, really good throughout this preparation.
Is there anything that you know off the top of your head that Matt Patricia has done in the past that likes to mess with the quarterback's mind?
The biggest thing is just mixing up looks and mixing up pressures, disguising one thing as another to where it takes even just half a second more post-snap to figure out what they're in, what they're doing. And at that point, when you have talent around you, it allows everybody to half a second more to make a play or get into a certain position or things of that sort. So, again, it'll be a challenge, but we have to go out and execute at the end of the day.
Carson, James Brockermeyer, I'm curious, when you first started working with him, met him, what were your first impressions of him?
Yeah, he's one of my best friends on this team, and we spent a lot of time together, him being a center, me being a quarterback. He's right across from me in the locker room, in our locker room in Miami. So again, for me, working with him, having the opportunity to play with him, I've been blessed with a bunch of really, really good centers my whole entire career, my 2 years at Georgia, and now here. So having a guy like that makes my job a lot easier. And the way our offense kind of works is he starts with making the calls and things of that sort, and then I have the final veto because I can see the whole defense just as far as protections and run calls and things of that sort. So again, working with someone that smart, most of the times he's right. So and I don't have to check what he does, and again, it makes my job easier so I can focus on other things within the offense and controlling other things. So it's been a blessing to have him as a center, and I'm looking forward to continue to work with him throughout the rest of the season.
Aside from the calls and that stuff, what do you think he's just meant to this team and the group and the camaraderie? He seems like kind of a nose to the grindstone, not a big talker. Like, what does he mean, I guess, to the team in general?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a hard worker. He watches film 24/7. He works his butt off every single day in practice, and for that kind of centerpiece of an offensive line that is filled with a lot of leaders of this team, they lead this team, they lead this offense, and we go with them. So, and obviously he's the centerpiece of that, so he's been a huge addition to this team. Obviously we have a lot of new guys that have come in and transferred and kind of built into the culture of what the U is, and he's been an instrumental part of carrying us throughout the season.
Carson, you and Julian saying both have been part of championship teams, but what does it mean to have an opportunity to start a quarterback to maybe do that?
Yeah, obviously to be a part of a championship team and then lead a championship team are two totally different things. And to be able to have the opportunity to, lead a team to a championship has meant the world to me, and it's everything that I've ever worked for.
When you reflect back to what happened last year, basically a year ago, in the last couple of weeks to now, just talk about where you are and how things just feel different.
Yeah, it's been an unreal journey, honestly, and nobody knows half the, story of the things that, I've had to go through and the adversities I've had to face and push through. But for it to, be this full 180, full circle moment and be in this position and with this team and these guys and these coaches, it's meant the world for me, obviously, and I've had to work my butt off to get back to this position and back to this spot, but I couldn't have done it alone. I couldn't have done it without all of these teammates and these coaches and them pushing me through and helping me through each and every moment and each and every adversity. So again, I'm super thankful.